Caution. Sounds like they're carrying something.
What? Dude, we don't want to do this. Well, this is a name that I honestly have not seen in a while. Like, yes, it's true, we have brought this guy's name up in the past in various videos talking about the takes that he has on TBA Sports and others, but it's ongoing to go out there and fully acknowledge the player that Antoine Roussel was. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a Canucks fan. We went through a lot together. Us Canucks fans and Mr. Antoine Roussel over here. He was a part of the Vancouver Canucks team that was really not good. But he was a part of a team that had some sort of an interesting identity back in the day. Of course, Roussel is kind of stalling here. He wasn't very important as a Vancouver Canuck, but he was on the team, and alongside of Lou Erickson, Jay Beadle, Bucks history, especially when you consider the timeline we are at right now, where the Vancouver Canucks kind of suck, and Clint Hughes is going to leave. You can debate that the trade in which Mr. Antoine Roussel was a part of was one of the biggest factors as to why everything went that way. But all past Canucks dramas aside, let's go out there and read what JIC analyst Antoine Roussel went out there and had to say about Montreal Canadiens forward Josh Anderson. I'm going to leave a link in the description if you want to go out there and read this piece yourself. Josh Anderson outnumbered. One sequence bothered Antoine Roussel. This was posted by TVA Sports on their website yesterday. Again, it'll be linked in the description if you want to read it yourself. But let's go out there and see what the thesis here is. The Canadiens have been struggling with the penalty kill since the beginning of November, to such an extent that they now occupy the 25th place in efficiency in the NHL with a success rate of 76.3. Now, that's not particularly great, 76.3% on the PK. TVA Sports hockey analyst Antoine Roussel believes he knows what's wrong. Players are not respecting their assignments, and they aren't positioned correctly on the ice. Starting with Josh Anderson, who demonstrated a weakness in the Canadiens' penalty kill during Wednesday's game against the Utah Mammoth. There's a sequence on yesterday's goal that bothers me. Look at Josh Anderson, how he just keeps spinning around, and then at one point, he never stops. Roussel analyzed at the start of his appearance on JIC on TVA Sports. Anderson is always spinning, and the puck always ends up where it could have been if he had stopped spinning. Sometimes it's not complicated, but put the brakes on and let your teammate do his job. And that's an example that reflects what's been happening for the last 3 games for the Canadiens. I think my family can't stand to hear me yelling at the TV anymore, so I can't even imagine what the coaches think when they see this. Now, just for the record, if we want to review what it is that Roussel was talking about, well, we have to go back over to November 26th, where the Montreal Canadiens played off against the Utah Mammoth, and they won 4-3. Suzuki scored twice, the Canadiens rallied past, they got the victory, and if you take a look at Barrett Hayden's power play goal in the second period, let's see if we can use the Edge goal visualizer here. Pay attention to Mr. 17, Josh Anderson, because he will be on the screen right there. He is on the top of the circle there, and the Utah Mammoth are able to cycle the puck around. Eventually, Anderson is caught a little bit on the side, and the shot comes from Barrett Hayden. This is exactly what Antoine Roussel is talking about, that he's always spinning, he's always going, and with a little bit more patience and a little bit more just stagnation, he will inevitably let the puck come to him. The reason Utah is able to rotate so effectively is because Josh Anderson in particular is one of these guys that just keeps on chasing, keeps on going. He plays with tremendous pace, which is obviously appreciated, but in situations like the PK, it's being noted as a A marcha of what this team is exhibiting. Let's go out there and read the rest of the article here. Anderson had been playing for the PK for the past 2 years. However, he is getting his first shift this season following the departures of Dvorak and Arena. According to Rousseau, he absolutely must get back on track in this aspect of the game to justify his high salary. That player needs a role, because if you take him off the PK, his only use will be to hit and to bring intensity. Given his relatively high salary, you have to expect more from Anderson. It's up to him to pull himself together, because the status quo isn't working, Rousseau added. There needs to be some serious introspection at this level, because that is where the mistake lies. And those are some pretty harsh words from a guy named Antoine Rousseau, who, I'm not gonna lie, I do remember moments of him on the PK at some point. He wasn't the best at it, but it's really interesting because, oddly enough, I see a lot of Antoine Rousseau's game in Josh Anderson's game. They both play a very no-nonsense, pace, and effort-related style that doesn't necessarily translate to the most effective numbers, but they play in such a way where you always notice them every shift. They're always going, they're always forechecking hard, they can body check too. Antoine Rousseau was quite nefarious for that because he was so physically intense, and even though he had 31 points in 65 games in his first season with the Vancouver Canucks, this was a guy who unfortunately just didn't really provide much value outside of that year when you exclude his pace and the intensity that he played with. Now sure, there were a lot of folks, myself included, that actually liked what Antoine Rousseau provided, but following his injury after that 30-point season, he just wasn't really the same player anymore. It's not like he was in the NHL for another, so it was kind of an unfortunate downfall for Antoine Rousseau and the Vancouver organization. And then he got traded to Arizona in the infamous Nico Eriksson-Rousseau trade for Albrecht Larson and Connor Garland. Josh Anderson, on the other hand, is making $5.5 million a year. Now, sure, that's not the most expensive dollar amount in the world, but for a guy who is technically a fourth liner, if you wanted to say that, yeah, you could probably say he needs to provide a little bit more value than at the bottom at 6th play. Josh Anderson this season has 8 points in 23 games. He was on pace for about 29 points, which is roughly where he was at last year. If he gets up to 20 goals, then I think that'd be a pretty good benchmark for him. He hasn't hit that since 2023. That season he was also at under half a point a game. So obviously Anderson, he's never going to replicate that 47-point campaign he had in Columbus when he got traded for Max Domi. So obviously things need to shift a little bit value-wise for this player. But at the end of the day, Montreal's PK, as bad as it is this season, Anderson has only been a part of it lately. So if this continues to be an issue that Canadiens fans will point out and talk about, I do question whether or not Antoine Rousseau's commentary will reign supreme. But I guess I can leave to your thoughts in the comment section below about that very topic. Do you think Mr. Antoine Rousseau's commentary on Anderson is accurate? Do you think it's the right way to go about it? And do you think these changes are necessary in the way Anderson attacks penalty-killing shifts? The article will be in the description if you want to go out there and read it yourself. Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this Supercharged Force 99.
This usually all day. The only time I can do it is now, and then after this is done, I turn it into the night we go through it again tomorrow. Saturday is going to be another full day of hockey. So with all the teams on the board from Anaheim through Winnipeg, I went through alphabetical order. I have picked out players that I think are key restricted free agents or unrestricted free agents for this summer. I wanted to look at everybody's cap situation as well. And for people who were really hoping next year's free agent class was going to be a big one, no. Next year's free agent class is not a big one, and there are still names on the board that are going to come off before July the 1st. That teams are going to either trade for these players and sign them, or these guys are going to decide to stay where they are. They're going to sign contracts. July the 1st, 2026 looks like a wasteland right now. I'm going to be completely honest. So we'll start with Anaheim because that's how the alphabet works, and I'm wearing a Philadelphia Quakers jersey because why not? Gauthier and Carlson are both restricted free agents for Anaheim. These guys are going to get major raises. The good news is Anaheim's in pretty good shape when it comes to the salary cap. Jacob Trouba's an unrestricted free agent this coming summer. He's 31 years of age. He's having a really good year. I wouldn't blame him for wanting to stay and for them to want to. For that, I wouldn't blame them for wanting to keep him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a bit of a discount to stay in Anaheim because it's making him play a lot better. At least it feels like he's fitting in a lot better than he did the last couple of years there with the Rangers. Their current cap space, according to Puckpedia, everybody on this board, this is their current cap space according to Puckpedia, $16,227,880. That's pretty good. Very good thing. Boston, I couldn't find anybody on Boston that's like a major pending unrestricted free agent or a major pending restricted free agent. I also couldn't find a lot of cap space. They have $1,050,000. So Don Sweeney has been on the record as he's was in the offseason as a plan to get back in the playoffs, and right now it looks kind of touch and go for the Bruins. But there's not enough space there for them to really add, and there aren't any pending unrestricted free agents for them to unload that are going to get them a lot back. So yeah, Boston's kind of just in this situation right now. For Buffalo, Alex Tuck, 29 years of age, pending unrestricted free agent. I cannot see a situation where he's either not signed by Buffalo or he's not traded by the trade deadline. I cannot see Buffalo holding on to Tuck past the trade deadline without some kind of certainty that he's going to stay in Buffalo. Zach Benson, restricted free agent. Benson has had injury issues this year, but he's got talent, so you bank on him. Like, Buffalo, the weird part is they don't have a lot of cap space. It's only $681,420 according to Puckpedia. So they're an interesting body that they've got some guys who make some good money. They've got some really good players. They just don't seem to have a really good showing since the beginning. So this is a storyline that's had Buffalo for a long time. Calgary, Anderson first, pending on a certain free agent. You know that he's 29 years of age. I do think he's moved by the deadline. The interesting one is Cooley. He's a goaltender, 28 years of age. He is coming into his own. This is what we say about goaltenders, right? The goaltenders can develop later. They can suddenly become a growing concern in their 20s, as Cooley has. And Calgary's got some cap space, 14,042,100. So,
As Tony Carroll.
And it'll be interesting to see what Frank Conner right now his new contract, what he does with this team going forward. Carolina's an interesting spot themselves. The Houston's a pending restricted free agent. I think they probably get him signed. I don't think that'll be any kind of problem. But, yes, Freddie Anderson's 36 years of age. He's an unrestricted free agent next summer. This, I think, is probably his last year in Carolina. Bossy, he's 27 years of age. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent next summer, but I think Bossy's quite well. So you go to check Cobb and Bossy next season and beyond. Does Anderson hit the market? Here's you are the goals. Does Anderson draw a lot of interest to be into the market? There's not a lot of goaltenders on the market, so he might. They have $11,027,803 for the property at the cap space. So there's cap space there for Carolina. Should they choose to utilize that? I think they probably will. They may pick up a rental at the deadline. Interesting to see what they do. Chicago, that's the big one. Bedard. Bedard's having his breakthrough year at the perfect time. Year 3. A lot of players, it's year 3. And he's going to get paid. And when it's a lot of digits, when he's in that 12 million range or wherever it ends up, I don't think we're going to be surprised now. Connor Murphy's a pending unrestricted free agent. It'll be interesting to see if he sticks around. Currently, $20,050,790 in cap space for Chicago. So there's a lot of cap space there. Colorado, nothing in terms of pending unrestricted or restricted free agents that Colorado would be really concerned about. Like, I could have held the board with pending unrestricted free agents, but I just wanted to focus on some of the bigger names, some of the ones on the board. Conversation starting with kind of text. Now, Colorado doesn't have a lot of cap space. They don't really care. They have $1,319,856 cap space, and they're number one in the NHL. They haven't lost a game in regulation since about 1986. So, all it's a pretty good team. Columbus, they have Phil Coyle, which is 33 years of age. That's probably your fifth contract. Blue Banner, 32. I'm not trying to, insinuate that Blue Banner is going to hit the market. I would be surprised if he doesn't stay with Columbus, but he is a pending unrestricted free agent. Fantilli is a pending restricted free agent. I think they would be wise to give Fantilli a long-term contract. I know that his numbers haven't been overwhelming this season, but he's got that level of talent. I think he's going to be a very good producer in the future, so long-term extension is important. Reach and net, he's the future for them. He's the present for them as well. Like put him in there a little bit. $16,767,027 in cap space currently, according to Caucasian. So they have cap space, and they do have some other contracts that are going to come off the books next summer that will give them more cap flexibility. But I did want to focus on that one, the big name. Dallas is still in a bit of a boot dog. And then Jason Robertson is having a ridiculous season. He's a restricted free agent next summer for 1 year. So Robertson is an unrestricted free agent if he signs a 1-year deal with Dallas. Dallas isn't going to want a 1-year deal with Jason Robertson. The more goals he scores, the more that price is going up for Robertson going forward. And then the scary part becomes, okay, so maybe based on what might be a career year, let's say he gets 50 goals, might be a career year. And how does that contract negotiation go from there? So Robertson, that's going to be interesting. Davey Vance, 36 years of age. He's not going to go anywhere into Dallas, but he is depending on restricted free agents in July. Cap space now is $3,098,960. They've navigated the cap well enough for this point of year, but it's going to be an adventure again next summer. Detroit, you've got Kane is 37 years of age. Talbot's 38 years of age. They're both pending on restricted free agents. Detroit right now has they've pulled themselves out of that playoff spot again. They have $15,813,076 in cap space, with which they can add. I'm not sure where you add. I look at Detroit and I see a good roster, and I'm not sure exactly what the issue is with them. So it'll be interesting to see what Steve Eisenman does between now and the deadline. What fan pieces you guys want to pick up. But if Detroit slides out of the race, you move Talbot at the deadline. There's going to be teams looking for a backup goaltender. Do you make Cam Talbot available? Do you make Patrick Kane available to Patrick Kane at the deadline if Detroit's not the right for the playoffs? So, I might not mind going somewhere. So, and as crazy as that may sound now, they now the Oilers have both those headers depending on the restricted trade. Skinner is 27 and Finley is 33. They do not have cap space. This is the reason why for Edmonton it's got to be a level of tag here. $159,167 currently for the top TV cap space. They can't add. So for the Oilers who are sitting at 10-5 and Miami Andrews, they do not have the money to make in position. And there are some contracts there that have, we can't keep talking for a while. The first one always stands out. The Sharks gets talked about. I think the Sharks are very good offensively, minded defensemen, but they're paying a lot of deficit. So, yeah, Edmonton's in an interesting situation. Then you got Florida, Ben Davis, restricted free agent. I think that he's worthy of being on the board because I think he's got one upside. And if I can start for them to give him a 3 or 4 year deal, and we'll look that upside. Bobrovsky, 37 years of age.
It's that easy. So they get our signature rate rate or keep it classic. 3 weeks to melt, starting at $5.99.
If the truck is back, they're going to have to figure something out. They get some relief with LTIR, not as much relief, of course, as the previous season, unless these players come back, because the guys who can't been playing. So, Florida has some work to do. While I'm still confident that they're going to make the playoffs, there's some work to do here. And the one thing about signing everybody last summer, making everybody stay together, you can only give them flexibility. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting run from here. The LA Kings goal turns its final season at age 38. Brad Clark, restricted free agent. So, you pay Brad Clark based on his potential. You pay him based on what you think he's going to do, where he is right now. They have $3,845,439 in cap space. So the Kings, I think, are going to want to buy, stay in the line, and most of all the playoff races. So I think it's time for good point above the playoff money first. So there's not much for error, but I really think that the Kings are going to go for it that final year of the film, right? Minnesota, Super Owens 38, Johansson's 35. Johansson's having a career year, he's 35. They have $4,203,776 in cap space. So not bad. Not bad for Minnesota, a little bit of cap space there. And Minnesota might be in a position to add. They ended that 10-game win streak today in Colorado. And I thought that was a very well played, evenly played game. And they still think they can talk to them. So our rank is still important. Minnesota, yeah, Montreal, where Patrick Line has been injured for a while now, so if it's teams remembering that depending on the fitness rating for Montreal, that would be understandable. He is 27 years of age. And with Line, it's going to be interesting to see what his past is for the captain. If Montreal decides to keep him, or if Montreal decides to move him, Line still has that point. It's going to see that. But he also gets injured enough that may not want to pay a big dollar. Just hold on to it. It's going to be fascinating. I put Jack Guy up because he's a restricted free agent. I think Harper Jack Guy provides something on that blue line that's worth some money. How much is it worth? They can't use people. How many years do you give them? $3,592,188 in cap space for Montreal. So when Line A returns, it'll be curious to see where he slots into the lineup, what his numbers look like, and then where he's playing after the trade deadline instead of Montreal, or the movie. Because at least if his ask is too much for, he just doesn't fit into the lineup, Montreal may be better off to move him. Nashville doesn't have any pending unrestricted free agents, and we know that O'Reilly is probably on the block. That seems to be the rumor. Stamkos seems to be on the block as well. There's going to be movement. They're not pending unrestricted free agents. So, but Nashville's got cap space, $7,731,275. So they have cap space. And we'll see if Terry Jones does something with that at the deadline. And that also means they can absorb the contracts when they move them out. If they can find takers for Stamkos, they can absorb some of that cap space, right? New Jersey, Rangers are restricted free agents. Christian shows some of that potential, and I think there's still some upside there. Evans, restricted free agent. He's really grown this year. He has started to show why they drafted him so early. They would be smart to give Jamal Memphis an extension. And I think it's going to be in that huge range in terms of the cap hit. Not necessarily $9 million, but I mean, can you justify giving him $9 million and not giving them say 6? Just say 6. Their cap space $3,604,793 currently according to Fox Media. New York Islanders, Anders Lee's a pending unrestricted free agent. It's the team captain if he wants to come out and turn the road. They only have $44,185 in cap space. I did a bit of a double take when I saw that. The New York Islanders don't have cap space. So currently they find themselves just below the playoff line. I'm sure at the trade deadline they're going to want to try to stay in that hunt. It's going to be a challenge. They're going to have to move dollar out to dollar in. And the Rangers are in the same situation. They're right there. I think 1 point between the Rangers and the Islanders. They are depending on restricted free agents, 34. I think we're starting to see signs of indicating delivery. Mid-30s, it's dangerous. Hold on to a player when they're 35 older, because you will see that steep decline in their offensive numbers. So, he's 39. He'll retire as a Ranger, so if he decides to go back again for another year, they'll likely decide to hold on to him. But they only have $41,666 in cap space. So the Rangers do not have cap space to make any additions at this point in time. So if they make a trade, it's $1 out, it's $1 in. Or they go to a team that has a ton of cap space like Chicago and says, let's make a deal. And they sign a contract everything. But it would probably need to be a bargain contract, considering Chicago doesn't want to pick up a better contract right before the dark becomes. The richest man in the Chicago Blackhawks jersey. For Ottawa, the jury, 37 years of age. We know he's going to end up retiring in Ottawa as well. Some of these veterans that signed a 1-year contract, 2-year contract. We know know they're not going anywhere. Jensen is one to keep an eye on, 35 years of age. I think that if Ottawa decided, Jensen, we can make available the deadline, I have only spitballing. That's it. I'm not saying he's going anywhere. But there would be teams that would be interested in Jensen if he were to become available. Maryland is a restricted free agent, probably not going to get a huge rate, but going to get some kind of rate on the thing. They have $4,104,664 in cap space. There's a good cap space there. Phil Malkin, Trevor Zegers is a petty restricted free agent. Zegerson can get paid. It is interesting because Zegerson's contract has been seen as too high for years. I argue it was too high for now. The way he's playing in Philadelphia, it looks a lot more appropriate. It looks a lot more accurate to the skill level. So, get a raise with salary cap doing this for the next few years. Probably. Dvorak, 29 years of age, just has a one-year contract with Philadelphia. And then you got Drysdale, so restricted free agent as well. So you got Zegers and Drysdale, best buds, together again, and both of them looking for new contracts. And Philadelphia seems to be pretty happy with Drysdale. $10,192,379 in cap space. Philadelphia needs to watch the deadline. If they stay in this space, if they stay above that playoff line, look out. I have a feeling if the project comes in, they have a good year. And if they add at the deadline, this one's got to probably watch the playoffs because it won't be depressed enough. Pittsburgh, Malkin's 39, depending on the 63 agent. Things are quiet, but Pittsburgh's playing well in terms of Malkin's going to get traded. So they can make those 2 or 3 in a row. And they're saying, so they're going to trade Malkin? No idea what's going to happen there. Shimon, the defending, was a very good free agent. And I think he's probably going to get a free agent with the Pittsburgh decided to trade. He paid his dues to the minors, that's how it works for one goaltenders. Nice to see Shimon get that opportunity. They do have cap space, potential kind of 12 million, 292,799. So while everybody's waiting for this final hurrah for Malkin and Penny Crosby, maybe they add to it and we don't see the deadline. We'll see. San Jose, sixth division, their salary cap space is a line, so we'll get to that in a moment. Lindbergh's 31, pending a restricted free agent. Kurashev is a restricted free agent, but not in 1 year for 12 years. Becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Same situation as Robertson, but obviously. Robertson. Ferraro's 27 is a 10-time restricted free agent. I can't see him going anywhere else, but how much is he worth? The San Jose is 20. And the Deltavic, 29 years of age, if they decide at the deadline, then the Deltavic would be a popular target of the thing between the including the backup. They have $5,955,833. But tomorrow, Mike Bear could say, I'm going to put these guys on LTA and create a whole bunch of cap space. There's dead money on this team, and 7 days really in the cap or exceed that below $6 million in cap space. Follow line. Seattle, you have James Schwartz, 33 years of age, 10 years, 53 years, Everly, 35. Holden, 26. I think Holden, depending on the month, like October didn't score November yet. So you came for November, October. So how much faith do you have in Holden, right? Alexiak, 32 years of age. Alexiak would definitely draw some interest if he was available at the deadline, but Seattle's in a playoff spot, so you're not selling off the deadline. They don't have as much cap space as people like think, $3,139,035. They have a couple of contracts that are high. Rivera really stands out with 5.9 million cap hit, and he's not a restricted free agent until next year. So next season, he's a restricted free agent. St. Louis is in an interesting position. All the way over, both of them having restricted free agent. So next summer, the Edmonton try and push it back. We'll see what happens. I would think of the two, Robert, I think, is the more important two, but I'm going to say that because he's a top 4 defenseman. Holloway still has that potential. Cap space with St. Louis, $1,986,936. So there's a little bit of cap space there. Obviously, St. Louis is not in a great position right now, funding themselves. I mean, they're 4.7 in the playoff spot, which isn't a lot, but they're 2 games below 500, so they've got 7.6 at 5. They've only got 8 wins in 25 games, so if they're not playing great, they're just finding ways to get points. Tampa, you've got McDermott, 36 years of age, 10 restricted free agents, currently close on the end of the year. Raddish, 29 years of age. Jared Raddish is very slowly jumping very expensive. He has stepped into Edmonton's spot and played really well for Tampa, which is fantastic. And it's fantastic for his contract because 29 years of age, probably signs a 4 or 5 year deal. I would think he stays in Tampa. Their cap space currently $1,493,959. So Tampa less cap space than some of the others on the board, but they're first in the Atlantic, and they seem to be just getting better. That slow start they had, forgotten. Totally forgotten. Toronto, McMahon, 29 years of age. I was surprised Bobby McMahon was already 29. That's why he's on the board. I feel like he should be younger than that. Nick Robertson's a restricted free agent next summer. We will go through it again, where he's out. Are they going to keep him? Are they going to trade him? He doesn't want to be there, and then they'll sign another one-year contract. That's my guess, anyway. Toronto has no cap space, $308,847. So Toronto finds themselves a game below 500, 6 points out of the playoffs. They do not have cap space, and the team doesn't seem to have the confidence. The team looks kind of miserable out there.
Okay, play that. Throw it in battle with the new Drop Attack Battle Set. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Find the elevated accelerated ramp and drop attack your opponents. Beyblade X Drop Attack Battle Set. First rates vary, subject to availability.
Well, the best recipes that are left unlit. It's time to toss some sustainability. Gather, combine, and season everything.
Something's got to give. The cap space isn't there. Toronto hasn't been in this position in a long time, where they're just not very good, and they don't have the cap space to make the improvements. It feels like early 2010s with Toronto here. Utah, Nick Schmaltz, 29 years of age. I think he stays in Utah, but how much is he worth? Probably sticks around. I don't think he hits the market as a line first. Vancouver, you've got Kane, 34 years of age. I will just say this straight out. I did not understand why the Canucks got Evander Kane during the summer. I have seen absolutely nothing from Evander Kane this season to tell me why they got Evander Kane. During the meeting today, they have power play and the Dixon goes on power play. There you go. Yeah. So I've not changed my mind on that transaction at all. I would rather that they kept the Dakota Joshua and not acquired Evander Kane. But that's me. Keeper Sherwood's 30 years of age, probably ends up being traded, which is just going to rip my heart out to do that. And Lucas Carlson, 26 years of age, he's actually a penny unrestricted free agent. Really hope he sticks around. The key thing is they got to jump for the finance. They have $2,423,333 in cap space, and all the expectations are that they're going to sell it. The loss to Canadian San Jose is another example of how the heart's there, the effort's there. Like, I'm not going to come down on the Canucks at all and say they're not trying. The effort's there. They don't have what it takes to get over that stuff. Vegas is finding themselves in a bit of a boondoggle here when it comes to fighting wins. So, Ryan Smith, 34 years of age, he's a pending unrestricted free agent, one of the original listed, of course. Dorothea is a restricted free agent, had great October, scored lots in November. And Schmidt is a restricted free agent. Schmidt's been pretty good for him, too. So I think Schmidt earned himself the right to stay in the National Hockey League. But since they've got started hard to sign, they're going to have Caden help for a while to come. So Schmidt can come guy who gets moved to the deadline. They don't have cap space, $450,068 because Vegas. Vegas always is right up against the cap. So you should understand both of them. If they continue to struggle, they can't find wins. We know that that's not acceptable. They don't allow for it. So how do they react? What do? They're going to vote. For Washington, Ovechkin's 40 years of age. And the question I have with Ovechkin is, okay, so he's past the Leonard goal mark. Does he want to reach the mountain? Is that at all in his brain? Because he's going to be a while before he gets there for years. At least he have to not slow down in terms of his goal scoring to get there, right? I don't know. And Ovechkin to me doesn't seem like the type that would make an announcement that it's his final year in the NHL. I think they need 2 finishes, and if Ovechkin decides this is his last year, he just has a little press conference, goes, yeah, I'm done. And then that's it. And so I don't know what's going to happen there. If Michael's a restricted free agent, I think Michael's a very young player. There's potential for more offense there. And John Carlson, 35 years of age, depending on restricted free agent. I can't see him going anywhere in the Washington, of course. They have $3,778,016 in cap space to watch the Capitals. and they're coming into the run again. They've been very up and down, very volatile this year. Just my panic index has been very up and down, and they'll be up in the next one and going down in this one after that. So anyway, Winnipeg. You want to talk about panic and get to Winnipeg. We finished with Winnipeg. In fact, let me just not the name of that, but the Winnipeg one. And that's the happiness one. That's what's happening. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. So Winnipeg. Perfetti. Perfetti is a restricted free agent this coming summer. Jonathan Taves is 37. Now, signs the deal with Winnipeg. Clearly in Winnipeg, the offense hasn't been there for Taves. The team is not performing very well. Justin spent a whole year in Winnipeg. Winnipeg continues to stay, and they're now 3 points back of the playoff run. Then teams in MLS facing, but they're not winning the game for playing right now. Does Taves become available? Conley's 30 years of age, he's defending unrestricted free agent as well, and they have $4,103,333 on the cap space. The Winnipeg Jets, and what's interesting is that Canadian teams, we're really seeing some Canadian teams in having problems. You've got Toronto, you've got Winnipeg, you've got Vancouver. There are different problems with these three teams, but they're definitely problems. And then you got Edmonton as well. That's 4.
The holidays at Walmart are just magical. So, timer.
Practice starts at 4. Let's get it. C-Mag, shades for practice. My game face doesn't take days off.
Here's character creator. Okay, guys, get cozy because we're doing this now. All right, that's fitting. My hair's not quite fitting, but that's. No, okay, that's better. I don't look very neat yet, but that's better. That's what weird. It's my ears are huge. Is that because of the headphones? Here, a real one. A real severe? Oh, is that for me? It's annoying. Well, it's very annoying, I say. You can hurt yourself. No! I won't talk to you anymore. Good. Please, stop talking. If you think that Uncle John is going to be like, wait, you didn't give the child a weapon? And the punishment for that? Then, bro, then mess up. I'm still not. Good. Here's for the bear. All your head. The bear seems to know martial arts. Your sis. Wait, what? You know martial arts? Oh, rude. Oh, baby. Aren't you impressed? Sir, aren't you impressed? I dare not be impressed. Wow, look at me. What? Bro. Oh, look at this deer fighting. Look. There's fish coming down? What? Whatever. Oh, is it a bomb? It looks like a bomb. We can only have one viewer. This is so dramatic. It's very tanky. Ow. Ow. Chat, I don't care if you do.
Okay. First, Edmonton Spurs are right for Jake Walden trade. He made well, they have 80 picks for 2027. Wow.
Umbrella. Oh, sick. Okay.
Whoa. I don't want to give it me. Sorry. Are you high?
I'm Mary Poppins. And you're gonna speak my 30. Look at that. I already have that. You? Wait, hold on. Whoa! Wait, that's crazy. Look at that! Look at that! I cannot hear any move! Our little mess on my head? You probably put it anywhere. I can't find what's through my head. What is it? Talk about everybody's situation. If you have an AI who's present is sitting there in box. Okay, this is good. Hey, I'm your boss. Well, I'm talking to hard slightly. Ah, that's a serious question. I am in life you.
What is definitely trade bait.
It seems to me that your subordinates are a bit sassy with you. Mind if I offer you a tip on how to deal with their attitude?
What the fuck? Well, he scored twice in this period. Okay, I'll take that graph. He's praying for that top shot extension. Smith got that. Gas scores a hat trick. Oh my god. My Domi says well scores. Okay, cool.
Now it's time for yours.
(24/7) total body pressure. Double spike.
Living. You were afraid my abilities! No lifting today. It's all promoted. I feel like I does. What on earth? What? What was that? People who just signed up because this record voice, so that was the person who recorded that. But I don't want to hear people's voices randomly. I just press it. Alright, this sounds excellent. I will give you a stellar performance review, and I will send it up to my superiors, and you will perhaps get a promotion with a hefty increase in salary. You gotta like that.
Just turned 23, I think, so.
Okay.
He was 22.
Gifts? Is someone use life to future friendship? Yeah, I'll use another line. Oh shit. Why are you doing this? Order something? Oh! That is crazy! Oh my god, that's insane. I need this to umbrella. Well, yeah, but it's too strong. I got good. I like to see my door. Good. What's this? I didn't expect it to be like this. Oh, I did a fucking it pulled me really fast. This is pretty accurate, actually. Like a small girl who has a husky. She was like, oh, stop pulling. She really like that dog. Oh, that's too many now. That's so little video. Not great. Oh, am I dogging? I'm not dogging. It looks like a lion's tail. Look at me. Maybe on dog down. Oh no. Everyone has to play now. There's no time. Oh god. What the heck do I do? Come on! I have no idea what to do. What am I going to achieve here? Fine. The dog found you and win. Ooh! I won! I don't know why. Are you going? Oh shit. Oh, Ellen, you just have to be the other way. Well, yeah, don't press those. What was that? Oh my god, my heart.
So apparently players can be like voice messages all the time. If you get to intimacy level 2 with a friend, that means you can summon their AI to bosses. You can have a polygamous with 5 spouses with even real players. You can even cheat on it and can throw vegetables by players if you do so. You even get a bounty set on you might have cheated on player and other players. You down for that?
So you're gonna have up to 5 boyfriends.
I can have up to 5 wives. Also,
I feel like enough that you can have like 2 husbands. What's the last one? 1 more? Wait, it's not.
it's last thing.
Oh, it is. Did these get that?
No, I didn't do anything.
So I played it once.
Well, alright, I'll go again.
Okay, wait, something.
But now the audience is on 6 now.
Yeah.
The old timer?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, it's fighting in the background.